Let's go see if this guy isn't around. You filming?
Yep, so what are we doing?
What's up, y'all? We're driving down today from UCSB. We're driving down to Ventura to the Satakoy Club, and I'm getting an iron fitting with Matched Up Golf. We're gonna take you guys on the journey. Chad has been blowing up recently with his companies Foreward Golf and Matched Up Golf, and yeah, we're gonna take you along for my fitting journey. I have been playing for a year and a half, had like 4 sets of clubs, and this would potentially be, you know, my 5th set of clubs, or at least a change. And I definitely think that I'm at a point where I've been playing gear that hasn't necessarily been fit perfectly to my swing and my body and my measurements. So it's going to be really interesting to go through Chad's 24 club system and give you guys some feedback and see the results. And Satakoy, members only. Members only. Getting fit out here. Nice view. Anyway, we'll be inside all day, so it doesn't fucking matter. Clubs up. Go check out this pro shop in Satakoy. Let's go see if we can't find our guy Chad. Howdy. We're here to see factories match up. Yeah, what do you guys have to take?
Oh, thank you very much.
No problem.
Yeah, no worries. All right. Did he say he was here? He didn't say he was here yet, but it's good to see what he said, if anything.
You stay by me.
Yeah. Let him know. We're here on the range. Alright. Some wedges, get the swing warm. Down the line shots. Hopefully we feel a swing today. It's the most important thing. If we can actually gauge some good numbers, not waste our time out here. I think that's the main thing that people think going into a fitting. Don't want to get a good fitting. Don't want to give a bad input. At least when I was a fitter, I know that sometimes guys would have to come back if they gave a bad input. But I think we'll get a good read today. God forbid.
In the air.
Maybe a little out of the heel, if anything. The main thing we're going to be looking at today is face strikes. I know Chad is big on getting the center of the face.
In my opinion, there's a lot of mixed.
Do you feel a swing coming on today? I rolled right up to the flag. Nice shot. So we'll skip an 8 iron. Just do all the odd clubs today. Go into a 7 iron. It's really important in golf to imagine the line that you want to. Imagine your swing path. Imagine you're on that line. All the way out of that line. You really got to think about your shots. Make sure you're always playing a shot shape, always playing something. There we go. was not feeling best on the range the other day, but we're playing it pretty well on the course. Getting some fades. Stuff. We're ready to go find Chad.
At this point, I felt like I'd been on the
around.
range for too long and something was definitely wrong in my head. Had to check my phone.
Bad comms. We're at the wrong spot. Let's go. Let's ride. Not quite the Sadaquoy Club, but we're pulling up on Chad's shop. That was a little bit of a detour. They got some other golf stuff over here. There's another course right here. There it is. Forward. All right, Chad. Let's get it done. Sorry I'm late, man. Let's get in here. Right. Let's go. Yo. Sorry we're late, man. Good to be here, though.
Yeah, dude.
We good. Got some cool footage at the Sadaquoy.
Oh, you guys were at the Sadaquoy?
Yeah, I thought that's where you were.
No worries, man. Nice to meet you too.
This is my pleasure, Ben. My video guy.
Nice to meet you.
All right.
Cool. I'm just getting finished up with this guy right here. Cool. We can start off by just getting you loosened up, hitting some shots into the net right here.
Totally hit a whole range warm up on the ground.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
But yeah, I'll lock them in the stand.
Yeah, absolutely. This is Seth.
I'll tell you right now, I've been playing for a year and a half.
Okay. So I've
been using these clubs for probably about like 7 to 8 months.
Okay.
I played a bunch of different sets. But yeah, I haven't been playing that long, but already working with a pretty bladed club and low bounce, pretty stiff shaft. I did work as a fitter for a while, so have some knowledge, but definitely I think it's hard to fit yourself, especially when it comes to like lying is a big one. So that's something I definitely want to take a look at today.
Well, it's also, the industry is going to tell you certain things that exist and certain things that don't exist. So, as you've probably talked to Chad, we test 8 independent variables that exist in a golf club. Obviously, you have sole design, you have line goal, you have the total weight of the golf club, size of the grip, length of the shaft, the kick point, the overall flex, and then swing weight or balance point. So we test all these variables independently. When we go through our system, we test them on the high, the medium, and the low side. And this shaft is, of Project X shafts, this is probably going to be the softest playing shaft of the 4. The 6 point, the LS, then the rifle, then the IO, and then the LZ is kind of how they work. The LZ kind of has the most kind of movement in the midsection of the 4 of them, as opposed to the LS, the IO, and then the standard rifle are much more rigid, pure in the midsection. But, so you were talking about just kind of grips. Is that just kind of here you're noticing that mid-size versus standard?
Exactly, I'm playing, some mismatched stuff, so for sure ideally want to get matched up here. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so what we'll do is, right now, unfortunately, our net got blown through a little bit yesterday, so we'll have you kind of just get loose. I know you've already hit balls and stuff like that, so we'll just kind of, if you want to just kind of clip some wedges into the left side of the net and just kind of get the body going. And then once
wedges, and then we'll, cool.
Yeah, we'll start getting going through it, and then I'll get some specs on your 7 iron just so I know where you're at.
Right on.
And then we'll get rocking and rolling.
Cool. Process.
But yeah,
trust me, I don't think I'm impartial to the,
Yeah, no,
I think, I started fitting as a, I started working in a shop basically right as I started.
Where did you start working?
Up in the Bay Area, the worldwide golf shops.
Oh, cool. So working for like Roger Jackson.
Exactly.
That's a great introductory start, getting your feet wet into the golf industry. I'm just getting the specs on it.
Sweet. That's a loft and lunch.
Why are they going so straight? They're so good. So goddamn good.
So his club, so here's the big thing. So you see how that line's not straight right there? That's going to give you a misread looking at his loft and lies. But this is one thing you always have to check. So you always have to make sure the bottom scoring line is even with this little rod that's right here, because otherwise you're not going to get an accurate representation of the lie angle. So right now it says that his 7-iron's at 61.25 degrees of lie and then 32 degrees of loft. But if I go ahead now, take this thing back out, and kind of check myself a little bit,
So
and make sure this thing's nice and squared up.
what I would want to do is build you
So you can see
club to
how
the
much more
specs
square that is now.
that basically we've come up with. So I would build you.
And so
a
yeah, it's
high
actually
balance
at
forward 7-iron.
62 and a half. So
LA golf
when you're
forward,
checking lofts and
105
lies for people and you're trying to find specs out and
I
stuff
would
like
match
that,
the line
you have to
angle
make sure
at
things
a
are
triangle of
absolutely
64
proper,
degrees,
because otherwise
same
I could
grid,
think he's playing a degree
same
flat, but he's actually playing stand.
Same.
But just a little thing. And that's going to be something to talk about, because lie angle is a huge dictator of shot shape. You're going to try 4 degrees flat, you're going to try 4 degrees upright, and you're going to try stand. And the reason why is because US Opens have been won on both sides of the belt.
What I'd like
Hogan
to
won
do
it at 4 degrees flat, so 57.5 in the lie angle, versus Shambo won at 65.5.
to maybe bend
You're
your
gonna-
club a little more upright if you were
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Now the club that I'm gonna send you is gonna have a number 1 on the bottom of it.
It feels heavy.
It's just
It's
one.
not bad though. Do you have speed dots that I can put on here?
Yeah, I'm good on right now.
Cool.
There's a Tiger Strike.
What?
You don't know about the Tiger Strike?
The Tiger Strike. Yeah, I know about.
So
the
that
Tiger
was a Tiger Strike.
Strike. Did sound
Yeah.
that you're hearing?
We focus, like, we can hear the acoustics more than anything.
That's what I focus on too. That's the main thing for me, hearing that I'm catching it out of the middle. I tend to be a bit of a toe striker with my long irons. Definitely tend to do with my short irons too.
Gotcha.
But I think more of a toe striker than a heel striker for sure.
Let's see here.
What about that?
What do you wanna hit?
So that, if I X-ray on that, that would probably be 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah, a little
Okay,
fast.
so if we look at these last 2 shots, so this is actually a really, really cool thing to look at. So what we'll do is, this table used to,
How would you rate that last one?
so these are the last 2 shots. So this one that you hit is a Tiger Strike. So ball speed's a little bit faster, launch is lower, spins 1,000 RPMs higher, carries further, and it's straighter directionally. This one that you hit 2 grooves up, ball speed slower, launches higher, spins down, carries only 2 yards less. So if you didn't know that you hit that ball improperly, you would think, okay, well, it just went just as far, even though it wasn't as clean. But the thing is, what we're trying to do is we're trying to manage our miss, because now instead of this being offline 4.9 degrees or 4.9 yards to the left, now it's 6.7, which, you know, if you're hitting it to a,
Hitting it to the left is
yeah,
bad anyway,
exactly. But even with that in mind, it's like, okay, you got a tucked left pin, you're trying to hit a little baby cut to it, you hit that thing 2 grooves high now, and now you're in that left bunker. So it's like, we want to just go ahead and make sure that we manage our miss, because that's one of the most important things about fitting. Because, you know, it's cool to get fit for custom golf clubs. Like, everybody's going to love getting a new set of sticks, but in reality, getting custom fit is going to lead to you actually playing better golf.
That's the goal here.
Yeah, 100%.
Generally pretty straight.
Okay.
I tend to recently I've been pulling left a little bit.
Okay.
Imagine, because
The
that ball
miss
hit
might
there,
be
you
like
got club with into the
an
ground
iron
while the
strike
ball's
that just
still on, and it kicks the
flies
face
right,
back.
especially with the long iron.
That's what we're trying
So
to
it's
Long
avoid.
irons, you have a tendency.
What we noticed is,
Miss
Short
right.
irons, you have a tendency of maybe pull them a little bit.
in your
Yeah.
full swing dynamic,
and
maybe a little, again, there's
There's
things
been
that
a
are a little
little bit of a
bit.
pull hook
You
miss
use some
sometimes,
swings,
but
wedge, the exact same as you
relatively
said.
I think
It looks
I
kind
try
of
to
keep
keep
that
it.
magic.
I try to imagine that I'm hitting on lines. You know,
What
I
we
try
saw
to
was
imagine the swing
is
plane as I'm coming through.
giving you a
at least
higher
into the
balance
targets. I
wedge
try to hit a
or
pretty straight ball.
semi helps
Sure,
you
much better. Let me mic myself.
I was about to say, you better mic up as quick as you can.
Yeah.
medium down.
Yeah, definitely. On the face.
Mm-hmm.
And
and that's where a lot of people think good golf lives.
Yeah. You want to be on that second groove, that first second groove?
Nope.
Got to be on right on the bottom.
Top and bottom groove every single time. So yeah,
On that
here's
first
the thing.
groove.
I'll send you this video. I'll send you the photo too. So we're gonna talk about this trick. So this is where a lot of people think good golf lives, and here at Foreward Golf, we have found that good golf lives in a much different part of the face, and that's on the top of this bottom groove right here. So what we found is if you look at Tiger Woods' 8-iron from the year 2000 when he won all 4 majors, probably a good indication of good ball striking, and arguably one of the best ball strikers of all time. What we notice is the only way for you to actually hit that golf ball that high on the face is there's an interruption between the club face getting to the golf ball. So right there, you hit a little bit behind it, so you effectively kind of drop kicked into it. So this trailing edge touched down ever so slightly before the leading edge could get into the crotch of the golf ball. So just with that thought in mind, hit it lower on the face. Like see if you subconsciously, as an athlete, can actually hit it lower on the face.
I fucking ran on this thing forever about it to match. I said it to him, and he after one day, he said, "This is the best I've ever had." Dude, seriously, he goes, "I swear."
Definitely pulled left.
He goes, "I'm gonna play different."
But look, we're right on this low.
He goes, he misses.
So is very, very interesting. I told you, can you try to hit it lower on the face for me? Yes, you pulled it, and I'm not too worried about that right now because who knows if these line angles are even correct yet. And then also, you know, we don't know how you're swinging. We haven't looked at your path numbers or anything like that. So what we're going to do is we'll have you hit one more shot with your 9-iron, and then we'll have you hit like 6 or 7 with your 7-iron.
All right.
That is stripe.
That is very ideal.
All right, brother.
Nice and kind of maybe in that heel section even. Slightly in
So
that heel section. Swing smooth, especially as I'm learning more. I just want to swing smooth, and I feel like smooth is definitely fast for me.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. It's all good information.
There's that little cut, but a little better efficiency, I think. Still kind of coming out the heel. 173, 172, what'd I say? I said 172.
Yeah.
That's about what I'd like to play. My 7-iron too.
Well, the biggest thing is to focus on, for a golfer more than anything, is not total with an iron, is carry.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
that 168 number is going to be probably pretty close to my assumption of where we're going to get, unless you just start revving up like crazy and start putting up like 130 ball speed with 7-iron.
I can definitely rev it up, but I don't think that's where I'm trying to play good golf necessarily.
Yeah, no, 100%. Good golf isn't swinging as hard as we physically can, trying to find the club face. It's maintaining the club face for the whole entire time.
Know a lot of pros
You see it.
teaching.
So what I believe bounces back.
Talk about like getting the club swinging as fast as you can at a young age.
100%.
Definitely interesting.
And all it's doing is we're just playing the little game with low
years
one.
older, 10
Less
years
bounce, bottoms out, further up.
Those are your sports.
You
are a good golfer, but your clubs are supporting you.
Dude, if you're working a NASCAR picker, you ain't showing up with a hammer and a wrench. You're showing up with all of the heavy-duty tools that you need to go out there and make sure that you're running tip-top time. Because what happens, you're going to get fired if your job's not doing it right. Your clubs are that pit crew, and we got to make sure that pit crew's in full tune, and it allows us to, play our best golf. So we'll have you hit a couple more, and then I'll grab the soul design test, and we'll talk about what soul design is.
It's the importance of a good fitting right here.
You see that? So what I want to do now, well, first off, what I'd like to do is I want to hit 3 more shots with each of them, make this sample size bigger, and make sure it's holding itself true.
Push right, miss, my 7-iron. Like that's a common thing for this club.
You swing a little bit out to in, so that should be your natural shot shape.
Get one more here. And actually, that made a noise.
That was a very good shot. Did not capture.
That made a great noise. Got it on here.
Shoot it.
115.
Shoot it. Shoot it. Your collar. Your collar.
See, so like this one, I don't care, like I feel like it's engaged in that a little bit less.
You'll be looking good on camera. Like.
Yeah, thanks.
That you came in with as what's known as low bounce. So what we're going to do is we are going to test all 3 bounces. We're going to test high, medium, and low. So you can see these two, even though they might be the same exact golf club, the ramps are going different ways. This one, the trailing edge, is much higher than the leading edge. This one, the trailing edge, is lower than the leading edge. So we're trying to see what allows us to access that crotch of the golf ball, hit a compressed cut, and allows us to get our number every single time. So we're going to hit 3 shots with that. Cool.
106 and a 1 yard spread, and it's just in my head, okay, so balance is all in this guy. How much is too much?
Ooh, alright, that's a little bit of an outlier. I'll take 2 more.
I think this is important for the viewer at home to understand that if you do a forward golf club fitting, not every club is meant for you. Some of these clubs have very, very, very extreme variables that are not going to fit every golfer's swing. The point here instead is to find what actually does fit your swing out of all 3 variables.
Yes, it came up a little bit short of our yardage, but directionally it's kind of went where all of your good shots have been going. When you hit a shot low and heel, it's going to kind of make this club face twist a little bit and make that ball kind of shoot out a little bit more to the right. But here's my question for you. How much ground did you feel on that shot?
Afterwards? Like through impact?
Yeah.
Not very much.
Exactly.
Felt like I caught most of the ball.
But what Tiger said, when I'm hitting it flush, I don't take a divot. We're trying to achieve that feeling in this room because here's the thing. It's not I'm not telling you can't take a divot, but what I'm telling you is that golf ball has to be off the face before you take that divot.
When you're flushing it.
Exactly. And we also don't know what Tiger's definition of a divot was. Is it a divot, a blade of grass, or is a divot, a beaver tail?
Beaver tail, exactly. Some grass clipping.
Exactly.
Seth and I go on to talk about the virality of that TaylorMade Stealth 2 range day with Tiger Woods and Scotty Scheffler, but it is important to note for my game that I take massive beaver pelts. So in comparison to Tiger and what he said, there might be something to look at there.
It's going to happen eventually. You just develop a player and the team have to develop so much trust.
That was probably one of the best shots you built.
Tiger's going to show up and play a set
that
he's
was
never hit before.
Tiger's good.
Maybe not by that far, but
That's for a good golf list.
so it will happen. We'll have the limit.
That's ideally what
All
your
right,
ball should be
so
doing.
now this
Your
club-
ball should be starting, a couple degrees to the left, curving back a little bit to the right. And dude, are you gonna take 2 feet 7 inches on a par 3?
Yeah.
Par 4, par 5, any one of them from 170 yards?
We'll totally take a 2-foot approach.
Yeah. I want to see when you start to really bouncing into it and you start to see it diminishing returns.
Yes, sir. I'll give you one more with that because we've had 2 very, very good strikes with that. We had one that was just
I really agree with.
yes, sir.
Compare.
Around that 160 number there.
So you can see that is much more concentrated in the center of the face, and it's also, we can see kind of where in the top of that bottom groove. That last one might have been just a half a groove high, but much lower on the face than number 2. So, right away, medium bounce was way better than high bounce. We'll be able to see that in the data, but we can already see that just based on everything that I see.
40, 60 pitching wedge.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
You don't hit the ball. You don't hit the ball very, very high. And that last shot, launch at 18, spin at 6,200. Those are really, really good numbers. Ideally, I'd want his descent angle, which is this number right here, be above 48 and below 50. But that's something that we'll be able to figure out. You're a little bit of a taller guy too. So I think definitely on length. Dude, I'm 5'10", I have a 6'4" wingspan. As an industry fitter, we'll call it. That's what we're just going to refer to you as.
It's tough to get all those numbers.
It's tough to get all those numbers, but here's the thing. When they tell you to do a wrist floor measurement, they're going to tell you for somebody with super duper long arms like me to give me an underlength golf club. But I play my clubs an inch over, and I play them 7.25 degrees flat.
It doesn't make sense.
That's not anything that anybody would ever give anyone.
And that's what I want to get across. As a fitter, someone that's been in the industry, someone that's kind of seen these guys come up on social media, I can definitely see what they're doing is 100% revolutionary. They're actually doing something different here. So I'm just excited to hit some more shots and see how the result goes for myself. Get this guy a rip?
Yeah, absolutely.
Ooh. Crap. That's closest to my club. That's where good golf lives. Get that.
That is ideal. That is about as ideal gets.
Because low bounce won in this part of the fitting, I feel good about my current decision playing low bounce T100S.
Test angle, we're going to test shaft weight, we're going to test kick point, we're going to test shaft flex, swing weight, grip size, length, all of them. We're going to test all the variables. So I'm going to grab line angle right now. We just have one system in the shop right now, so Chad and I are kind of battling back and forth. But he's finishing up right now, so I'm going to grab line angle and we'll start talking about what line angle is. So line angle is the dictation of how the shaft looks. So this club right here is 4 degrees upright. This club right here is 4 degrees flat. And the U.S. Open has been won on both sides of the bell curve. So when I bend a club upright, I'm effectively closing its face. When I bend a club flat, I'm effectively opening its face. A lot of the times when people test for line angle in the industry, you put a little sticker right here and you hit off a piece of plastic, and it's going to tell you based on where that club crashes in where your line angle should be. You do that test for me, it tells you that I need to play 2 degrees upright. You do this test for me, I need to play 7.25 degrees flat.
How close are you actually?
How is that going to, how are we missing the mark by 9 degrees? So what we've done is we have a golf club that's at 65.5 degrees of loft, a golf club that's 61.5 degrees of loft, and a golf club that's at 57.5 degrees of loft. All these are at lie, not at loft. And what we're going to do is we're going to have you hit 3 shots of each, and we're going to see where does that golf ball take off. Because line angle is a dictator of shot shape.
How do you control your
So, I can speak to this personally as a club fitter.
These are very abstract things about how to do
I definitely was big on never, trying to sell guys, more like trying to fit them. And, for me, line angle tests with the plastic board, they became something that I didn't even do anymore. I would see players that are going to be playing a slightly longer iron. They're going to be playing something a little more upright, and that's not necessarily the right way. Lie angle is something that I think they get categorically wrong in the golf shops. And at a certain point as a fitter, I felt so unconfident with using lie angle boards as a way to test that I just stopped using it in my fittings altogether. So I think this is a really good system to test what lie angle is going to do and kind of find a medium.
And I'm going to touch on something so you can hit, I'm going to touch on something you just talked about. So what he talked about is that a golf club, when it gets longer, it needs to play more upright. That's not necessarily always the case. That's just something that there's a couple of companies that believe. Hell of a golf shot right there. That was a hell of a golf shot. That was one of my favorite shots by far. And what's interesting is notice the strike location actually changed. You got into Fleetwood era right there.
Oh yeah.
So look at that club face. He got into Fleetwood era right there. Toe center is where Tommy Fleetwood lives. And that, give me 1 to 10. How did that feel?
That felt incredible.
Okay.
That ball felt absolutely incredible. As a golfer, I think we all know that feeling.
If you decide to stroke the putter with your muscles, like I am right now.
So one thing, it was a little bit high on the face, but directionally, this is actually helping you out.
Yeah. What this is upright?
Very.
Okay, that's kind of where I feel like I should be playing more.
Well, so here's the thing. There's things that we have to touch into. When you're a guy who is a little bit more of a weak grip player, you need a closing mechanism. This is your closing mechanism a little bit. So we need something that is actually getting that face a little bit close to our path, that's not allowing us to have, because we saw with your golf club, your average side spin numbers were about 1,300. I'd want you under 500. Right there, you did jump that a little bit, and yeah, you came up 12 yards short of your carry yardage, but look how straight it is directionally. At least you're chipping up to the center of the green.
You allow your body to swing. Your mind wants to know, 6.5 feet.
Right there.
Steph Curry ain't doing that shit.
With a process as refined as the Foreward Golf fitting process, it's interesting to note that you can see so much variability on the same club within the same variable. It's good to take everything with a grain of salt and look at the overall fitting.
Sometimes change with line goal, but not always. So I'll be interested to see, because that's pretty deep toe. Now I'm like wondering, okay, line goal number 3, is he just going to miss the golf ball? This is 1 degree flatter than your golf club. We do Mizuno standard, which is 61.5. You know, I technically don't have to tell you anything, and I can just keep handing you golf clubs, but you're trying to learn from this experience, so I want to tell you everything. So just as much as you can, try to make the same swing over and over.
I think that's frustrating for me is,
I was going to say a little bit high on the face, good direction.
High on the face.
Yes, sir. Actually, right now we're trying to have you like aim at like maybe the left center of that green right now.
Yeah, I'm trying to do that, basically that spot.
Yeah.
Seems like someone drilled the ball through there.
Yeah. We had 2 guys drill some balls through there in the last couple of days. We got a new net on order.
Nice. There we go. That's the one.
Oh, don't be the one that
You didn't think about where you're releasing.
One more there.
Yeah, give me one more.
last forever, or else you can get. So, I'm gonna grab a putter real quick. I'm gonna show you the coolest shit that I got, and how these 2 things apply to each other.
You're going to be as consistent as you're going to be, and we're just trying to see what allows us to get the best straights. So I'm going to clean up any outliers that we might see. The thing is with this is it's going to give us parameters. So if we take a look, line goal number 3 made us lose ball speed, so it's out the window right away. Line goal number 1 was the most consistent across the board, except for in launch characteristics. Line goal number 2 launched the ball a little bit better, but didn't spin the ball as much. Those 2 clubs are about 4 degrees different, so I would be splitting the difference and saying that if we were to build your 7-iron, we're going to build it at 63.5 degrees of lie. So 1 degree more upright than what you're currently at.
Is that closer to line goal 1? Or what? Which? Yeah,
so that will be splitting the difference between line goal number 1 and line goal number 2.
I like line number 1. I mean, we got a 25 RPM to standard deviation on our spin rate. I like that. I like having my spins nice and close.
100%.
I think there's definitely, yeah, right on.
100%.
The next category that we tested is weight. I would say that they put me with a roughly 120 to 130 gram shaft, about a 105 to 95 gram shaft, and probably around an 80 to 65 gram shaft.
Okay, I can't really unveil that because, you know, this stuff is under patent and stuff
your
like
proprietary
that.
stuff, right on.
So we are going to test the shaft that's...
Try to get some info out of them.
So we're going to try a golf club that's extremely heavy, a golf club that's kind of standard, and then a golf club that's super duper light.
Yeah, definitely heavy right here. It's definitely heavier than my clubs. It's interesting seeing the Genkus video. He's talking about the more
It's
flexion.
creating more wrist flexion for him. Yeah, we've kind of worked back and forth, but we've kind of made the decision to kind of pull away from these kind of enormous grips, knowing that, you know, if a guy's still overdrawing a jumbo, we can start recommending things that are bigger than a jumbo, but we're kind of now focusing on jumbo, mid-size, and undersize. George, if he took you under his wing, would probably be suggesting, because you do have a little bit more of an open club face at the top, and, you know, you have to do some interesting things to kind of get that face to square up, so creating a little bit more wrist flexion would help you effectively square up the club face.
Interesting.
Yep. So, here.
That one right through the hole.
Yep. It's all good.
Really interesting to note and post that not everything is as it seems, especially in golf. I worked as an industry fitter, and a lot of the notions that I had walking in here kind of got destroyed as the day went on.
Game. I think I potentially could be a player that fits the profile
really stiff, low launching, low spinning shaft, but
So
not right now.
that's another topic we'll talk about. Those are just terms.
I know. That one went pretty far. That was a 165 carry, 176 rollout. I'm gonna hit one more for him on this club and then retire it. Call one of those an outlier. That's well struck. That was a tiger strike. Awesome. This is a more neutral. You said it's 15 ounces roughly. What, 120-ish kind of?
Much lighter.
Much lighter. What's that in
So that would be 105.
105? I felt like I played some good golf with the 105. We'll see.
Yes, sir. That might bounce in. A little thin,
And a little low on the face.
but
right
good
under
direction.
Under that first tree, maybe a little thin here.
And sometimes we'll notice if the club gets too light, it might not allow us to get that tiger strike. Same thing if the club gets too heavy.
Do you feel like you tend to see the ball riding up the face more with the lighter shaft? Definitely getting that thinner strike.
It's all dependent from player to player.
Yeah, I think that's the theme here.
Yeah, 100%. It's no two players are the same. They might get the same exact prescription, but it might be for completely different reasons.
They're like plated. I was working like right through the hole, baby.
Yes, sir.
And I bought these off of eBay, just like the heads. And
Not my best strike.
Yeah, there's
I'm doing justice all the time, but they make me want to get up and off right to look at them. So
yeah.
Little high, little toe.
We'll have stuff that people don't have.
One more.
Same. Exactly the same way.
One more?
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you decide that you want to have the build a full set of forwards, we do have 4 different finish options. We're going to start off with the silver one for you. Phone number for you?
I just wanted to take a second and apologize for the noise in the background. Chad is currently getting someone's phone number at this second, and we know there's been a lot of sniffling and other stuff. We were all sick in this video, so hope you enjoy.
That was very, very solid strike. That was a tiger strike for sure. I think you just started opening up a little bit more.
Yeah.
And yeah, so
Just
that's
started off
yeah,
line.
you just started it. You just kind of, we're up here, and then you kind of got a little bit more here. But pretty solid showing for medium weight regardless.
We're going to go
Definitely a little bit more center and a little bit more middle. So what we'll do is now we're going to test the lightweight.
I'll save you guys some time. Lightweight was not the one for
I'll be
me.
right out there. So how you hitting them?
Not bad, man.
Cool.
I don't know if you caught much of my story, but I've only been playing for a year and a half. Started in July of 2022, kind of playing on the range during COVID with my cousins, and then got out and started working at a golf shop, and really took the industry and golf as kind of like the same deal. Picked it all up kind of at one time, fitting the whole deal.
So where did you do your fitting at?
I had a bay. I would have 3 days a week in a bay at a shop in NorCal.
Nice.
Santa Fe Golf Mart. Shout out Santa Fe Golf Mart.
Sick, dude. That's dope. That's so sick.
Yeah, and just kind of built a little name for myself out there. Definitely met some guys, and as regards to fitters go up there, I think I did a pretty good job for a bunch of guys.
That's so
Definitely
sick.
met some really cool guys and some mentors and some cool guys in the golf industry. Some of the reps hooked me up on some cool stuff.
Yeah.
Got pretty blessed in my first year with some free equipment and some of the stuff that you can get as an industry guy. Working hard.
Nothing better than a free set of golf clubs.
Right.
So what have you guys figured out so far? What seems to be standing out to you as far as some of your specs? What angle did you get into?
I think we're gonna go.
Was it
We're gonna go
upright?
more upright.
Yeah, that makes sense from watching you swing a little bit that it would be a little bit more upright.
Yeah.
Because you played that little cut.
Low cut. Definitely feel like I. The rest of this clip honestly doesn't have that much substance, but the next clip has no context because the footage got corrupted. and we were doing the weight test.
And I also liked a little bit more of the spin that we were getting and how tight the spin was. It was a little bit left directionally, but that might have just been a little bit of swing and also a little bit of the flex stuff that's under the hood. So we got to go ahead and look at profile, flex, and the other things, but definitely don't think you're going to be playing 130 gram shaft. Definitely think you're going to be playing something, in that 110 to about 95 gram range.
Okay.
At this point in the fitting, I was quite surprised that I got fit into regular flex. It was honestly a big change from the Project X LZ60 loading zones that I had. And those are 120 grams, and he was fitting me into something around 105 grams, which is much lighter, and honestly, it felt like it loaded a lot better. But it was surprising, especially considering my numbers jumped with a regular flex and were even similar with a stiff, but it just felt better. When I was an industry fitter, sometimes people would ask me to buy a shaft that was stiffer than I thought they should be playing. And Seth had an interesting response to giving people what they need and not what they want.
I think a lot of people are kind of tuning this fine line of playing things that are lighter. Like, we just had this gentleman that was in here right next to you that just got fed to 105 gram shafts, and he's putting up, 132 miles per hour ball speed. So it's like playing.
I just want to note how interesting it is for a guy to go into a shop and get fit for 105 gram stiff shafts when he swings at 130 miles an hour ball speed. That would never happen in an industry shop. It would never happen at one of the major club fitters. And it just shows that these guys have a very different process than the rest of the industry.
And they
open to the change.
And there's a lot of things that, people don't realize. They think that, if you go lighter, the shaft can't play as stiff. There's shafts that are in the 95 gram range that play even stiffer than shafts that are in the 130 gram range. And that's why graphite's really, really cool.
I think it's really interesting to note what Seth said here with that graphite comment, because there are lots of shaft profiles that don't exist in the industry in different weights. You're not necessarily going to get an extra stiff shaft in 105 grams, and you're not going to get a light shaft or a more flexible shaft in a heavy weight. But that might potentially be where you play your best golf. And that's what the guys at Foreward Golf are doing. I've been back a few times since, and they've showed me some really cool things, and they're doing some very interesting prototyping with shafts. I think at this point, it's really important to recognize how interesting the technology and the tests that the Foreward Golf guys have created are. They are different than what's currently in the industry, and they're definitely much better in my opinion. And as an industry fitter and someone that's looking for the truth in golf, this is definitely something that I was gravitated towards.
19 would be a good number. If I could get you 19 with 6,400, you'll be chilling.
Cool. The 7-iron, that's pretty happy numbers from what I know. Right through that hole.
Mm-hmm.
Not my favorite strike, a little out of the heel there. But we'll take it.
It's important to trust your ball striking ability when you're doing a fitting like this. If a club really isn't working for you, it's definitely just good to get it out of your hand and move on to the next variable or the next succession in the test. The audio gets a little bit confusing in some of these next clips, but basically Seth and I determined that my ball speed should be around 118 to 120 if I hit a good tiger strike.
Very nice one right there.
A little higher. Maybe it flew a little more. Still feels like it's riding up the face a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
That's something I've been trying to work on.
There's certain variables that might allow us to hit lower on the face, and there's certain variables that might allow us to hit higher on the face. I'll take that one.
What are you seeing, Seth?
So far he's gotten fit into low bounce, medium weight, and a little bit more of an upright line.
Cool.
So about 1 degree more upright of what he currently plays.
Ooh. Dude, those are the acoustics? That's pretty much the same spot. A little high toe.
Okay. Take one more. Yes, sir. That was probably in the top 5 favorite strikes of the day.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Just to clarify, because it isn't always the most clear, this test is the shaft flex test, and they're probably doing something along the lines of regular stiff and extra stiff shafts.
So about 19 with about 6,400 coming down at 47, we're getting close. So if we take a look a little bit heel center, so flex can move strike location across the face, both horizontally and vertically.
Wow, that paints 3 different pictures.
That definitely does paint 3 different pictures. So that's pretty interesting right there. Cool. Let me give you number 2.
Well, then, I feel like all these kind of went a little right, but that was they're on this low grooves. Felt a little softer.
Okay.
Now that I just can't really tell. I don't even want to pretend that I can tell because I can't fully tell.
But this is a great conversation piece.
Yeah.
You know how many people try to tell me that they can tell the difference between an extra stiff and a regular? Everybody says that they can.
Black satin over them, and you can't tell the difference.
Can
Can't
you,
actually
Seth?
see the difference?
No?
Not a chance.
I would bet you there's a lot of fitters out there that will try to convince you that they can tell the difference between a stiff and an extra stiff, or a regular, or whatever it may be. But here we have one of the most experienced fitters in the industry working at one of the most advanced golf companies in the industry telling us that he has no clue when he's actually hitting the shaft. Now, there's only one thing that this could necessarily mean. It could mean that A, the industry is full of shit, or B, Foreward Golf is full of shit. It's also important to note that you won't actually see the results of a Foreward Golf fitting until you have your clubs built out with the prescription specs that they give you at the end of the fitting. It's also incredibly important to note with this type of fitting process that you wouldn't be able to see the results immediately within the fitting. You would have to build a club, potentially practice with it, modify your clubs, or get a full set of Foreward Golf clubs tailored to your prescription and your needs.
Fastest ball speed inside the tightest standard deviation, launched at 19.7 every time, spun 67.24, which I love, and carried 159 inside of a 0-yard spread. Dude, that's money right
A
there.
0-yard spread is that's
Unreal.
as dialed as it gets.
What, do you want me to tell you -2?
Yeah.
Cool. So you're gonna be, dude, regular flex.
Regular flex.
How do you feel about that?
I'm chill with that. Chill with that.
Because there's a lot of people that would tell you regular flex is for kooks, but it ain't.
It definitely ain't. I mean, if Chad's whipping his forearm.
I'm gonna end up playing it when I build out my set of forwards. I'm gonna be playing like 80 gram regulars. Like, I'm not even kidding. I'm playing Aerotech I-80 regular flex.
Yeah.
If anything, just because of how long my clubs are gonna be, I might just bump them up to the stiff so they just don't get too soft. But now we're gonna do a little fun one. Swing weight. Every golfer's favorite thing to talk about, dude. What's the swing weight of your clubs?
D2.
Swing weight's a balance point.
D3.
That's all it is.
It's
Swing
a
weight
balance
is
point,
just a balance point. So what we're doing is, because we have the movable weights in the head, we're going to test some pretty big leaps in swing weight. We're going to test D4, C4, and B4.
That's crazy.
Only club that's able to do it.
Most good golfers definitely think they all reside at high D swing weights.
Yeah, good golfers will tell you D2, D3 is where my club should balance at.
D2, D3.
But you want to know why they came up with D2, D3?
Tell me.
Because there was a 130 gram shaft that had a standard weighted grip, and that's just what it came out to be. Same reason why the 7-iron standard length is 37 inches. Because somebody glued a shaft in, they cut it, and somebody played it, and it was 37 inches long. It's just, golf is such an old school game that, like, these industry standards are based on something from so long ago, and we're so far past those. Dude, nobody's playing with, hickory stick golf clubs that have 39 degrees of loft on the 7-iron. It's like everybody's trying to sell this whole distance thing.
Well,
A distance iron is going to be an iron that's stronger lofted. It's not going to be an iron that magically makes you hit 18 yards further in the air. It's also going to be for, everybody says, oh, if it's so forgiving, why don't the pros play it? Because no pro's going to play a 28.5 degree lofted 7 iron.
Makes no sense.
Because they're not going to be able to hold greens with it. They're not going to be able to maintain their height. They're not going to maintain their spin properties. None of that. And that's where golf is kind of crazy.
You got some of these big brands, especially when I was fitting, I had to turn guys away from some of the more, even forgiving clubs just because what do you want a guy playing a 42 degree pitching wedge and thinking that he's hitting that thing, 100 miles?
Dude.
Let's build some realism here, let's base it around reality.
My favorite thing is the guy who says he hits his pitching wedge 150 yards and then you look what's under the hood and you go, sir, did you know that your pitching wedge is actually the loft of my 9 iron?
Yeah, your pitching wedge is at 43 degrees.
Dude, I'll do it. Are you okay with me doing a little bash?
Seth, I'm of course okay with you doing a little bash on the golf industry. 100%. Someone needed to come along and shake up this age-old industry, and I think enough is enough.
The 7 iron is 25.5 degrees.
That's
That is the loft of my 4 iron.
That's not
That
a
is the
7 iron.
loft of my 4 iron.
Yeah, that's not a 7 iron. A 42 degree pitching wedge that's
Very strong.
That's not really a pitching wedge in the sense of traditional.
Yeah, when you got a company that comes out with a set that has a pitching wedge, an A wedge, and a gap wedge, an A wedge and a gap wedge are supposed to be the same thing, but Dr. Scholl's foot spray. We're working on creating our own called Tiger Strike.
Right on. Be looking forward to seeing Tiger Strike when it comes on the market.
Yes, sir.
Maybe a tad thin. Yep.
Yeah, but
Tap
very,
in.
very good direction.
You seem to want to move on to the next though.
Yeah, I want to just make sure we get everything on film.
Sure.
Yes, sir. What a strike. Good thing you called for it back.
Yeah. Here we go. Go in the hole. Go in the hole. Go right.
It's important to note at this point in the fitting that I was getting pretty tired and had already hit a lot of balls today. But it was important that I hit this club one more time because I felt like I left a bad strike on it, and I knew that I could leave a better strike on it, and it felt really good. So I called for the club back, and it was a good thing I did because it ended up being a really good club.
It's a good shot. Yeah, I'm laying them down today. I didn't bring the shanks out.
That was partially cap. I've definitely been editing out a couple shanks here and there, but nothing that takes away from the fitting. It is extremely important to note when going into this fitting that you're definitely not going to see the results on every club. I know I already said this, but I definitely want to stress it that sometimes you're not going to feel like you're hitting the right club or things are going wrong in this fitting, and that's totally natural based on the different variables that you're being put through and how extreme they are.
That's exactly where we're at today, so this is awesome.
I'll give you one.
Even if we still do those. A little wipey, it's gonna go right, but I actually like the swing. I just know I left my face wide open.
You're able to remove 12 grams from the head on number 2 and redistribute it elsewhere.
So this guy's got, what, 24 grams missing from it?
And redistribute it.
Interesting. This one feels the lightest. For sure.
Yes, sir. Well, I'm gonna have a simple question for you. Which one did you hit the best?
This one, 100%.
So here's the tough thing. Here's the tough thing. Now your Titleist is 100% out of the equation because I can't remove 24 grams of head weight from your Titleist golf club.
Seth basically goes on to describe why Foreward golf clubs are superior, and honestly, I can agree with him. They feel the best. Now, while it would be nice to upgrade to a full set of Foreward golf clubs, I currently have the T100S, and I'm going to keep playing those. We're going to make some modifications to the clubs. That'll come in another video.
Wait, was that?
B4.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Nobody's ever even heard of that.
No, I play around like
So length's an interesting one. Length can add height, it can add backspin, it can add ball speed, all these different things. Because if you think about it, what you hit further, your 4-iron or your 7-iron?
Definitely a 4-iron. It's a little longer, less loft.
Exactly, it's less loft, but in reality, where are you going to swing faster? Chopstick or not a chopstick? We'll say a chopstick, sure. A chopstick or a yardstick?
A yardstick.
Exactly, because momentum.
Yeah, get a little more whip.
So length, number 1.
Gonna save you guys a little bit of time on these last two variables. With length, I did not come in under length, and I definitely didn't come in over length. I should be playing pretty standard at about maybe a 1/4 inch over length since I'm a taller guy. And we tried grip size, and I definitely fit a standard grip size. Nothing bigger, nothing smaller. For these next few clips, I'm just gonna cut to the chase and show the ball strikes, and then we'll talk about the prescription.
The last test we're going to do is now grip size. How big versus how small should our grip be? So what grip size does is grip size can slow down face rotation. So for a guy that has a tendency to overdraw the golf ball, giving them a little bit larger grip might get those hands to slow down and make them not overdraw it as much. For you, you tend to overfade the golf ball, so I'm interested to see what this test does. The conclusion is you got fit into low bounce, you got fit into a little bit more of an upright lie angle, you got fit into medium weight, more of a firm tip section in terms of the kick point. We're going to be softer flex, lighter swing weight, more of a standard length, and it's more of a standard size grip. So to put this whole piece of the puzzle into configuration, there's 2 shafts. That would be the first 2 shafts to come to my mind. Your head does check out with the exception of with the swing weight thing, because I can't remove the weight. So swing weight is the one thing where your head can't support it. So we would be looking at a low bounce forward head if we want to get this thing tried and true. But when it comes to the shaft, the first 2 shafts that would come to my head would be the Dynamic Gold R300 105 or the LA Golf L Series or A Series 105-3. So a little bit of a softer flex. I'd put you into a standard size grip. Your lie angle would be 63.5. Your loft would be 34 degrees. Your length would be probably right around 37, maybe 37 and a half, 37 and a quarter, just being that you're a little bit taller of a guy. And throw all these together, and I think that's where you'd be able to play your best golf.
Right on.
So.
Right on. Definitely curious about that low swing weight. We'll have to play around with some clubs here. Might have to order some shafts soon.
Yeah, 100%. And you know, if it's one of the things where it's like, you know, down the road you really want to get in touch with us and you want us to build you like a practice club, you know, based on all these specs and stuff like that, I'm sure myself and Chad can throw something together and give you something to hit where you can compare it versus your 7-iron, and, you know, knowing that you probably are in touch with somebody that has a loft and line machine. Even we have a loft and line machine. Path of least resistance would say, like, hey, bend his clubs a degree more upright, let him go play with them. Also get a club that has that lighter swing weight, that little bit different kick point, and have you go out and play your best golf. But that's what I got for you guys today, and I'm excited for what the future holds.
My man. Appreciate it.
Thanks for coming in.
Awesome. Yeah, that was great.
What's up, y'all? Let's do a little reflection. So that fitting went pretty well. I really liked the process that they designed. They're not testing every single variable of the golf club, but they do test 8 of the main ones. And with that being said, the most interesting ones to me that stood out was that I got fit into a B4 swing weight. Don't mind my phone over there. Got put into a B4 swing weight, and I got put into R300 105 gram shafts. And I currently play at a D2 swing weight with 120 gram Project X loading zone 6.0 stiffs. So big change, but I really think that they're going to make a difference. I've already had them start reshafting my clubs, and my irons are down there in Ventura right now. So we'll see how it goes. I'll show you guys in the next video, and we'll have some on-course stuff. But really stoked on the fitting. Thought it was a great experience. Definitely more in depth than any of the other fittings I've had, and more in depth than the fittings that I used to give. That's for sure. These guys are definitely doing something different, and I'll be here to cover it. I'm definitely going to be back in there, meeting with the guys, showing you guys along. Definitely some exclusive content coming soon, so stick around for that. Take care, guys. Much love.